Video games are awesome. Even when you're stuck on the same level for hours, playing them still takes coordination, problem solving, patience, teamwork, and sometimes just desperate button mashing. But the best games bring us into a whole world made of stories and characters and quests brought to life through art, animation, and endless lines of complex computer code. But sometimes you come across a game or a level or storyline that just doesn't work. You probably have some ideas what would make it work better. If you do, you're already starting to think like those people who make all those games. You might want to level up to doing it professionally to help all those other gamers level up too. Hi, I'm Troy Dunaway, and I've designed hundreds of video games. So here's how to become a video game designer. The video game industry is huge, like bigger than movies, TV, and music combined. And that whole multi-billion-dollar industry starts with one group of people, the video game designers. Video game designers are the ones coming up with the concept and the vision of the games you love or hate. Depending on what the goals, the rules, and the stories are, you can decide, whether X means to jump, to grab, or something else. They'll write the plot lines, build the characters and the world, create the levels and the quests. In other words, they're coming up with the whole feel of the game, using game engines to build their vision into a fantastical interactive world for gamers to explore. But don't worry. If your art skills aren't up to par, or if your programming knowledge lags behind your ability to control your HUD, it's not actually your responsibility to create all the cool stuff you've dreamed of. You've got artists and programmers for that. One way to think of it is that a video game designer is like an architect. They design what the building layout will be, and they create the blueprints for big picture things, like how many bathrooms it'll have, and little smaller details like where a beam goes. Then they pass those plans off to the people who actually do the hammering, the sawing, and the drilling. In video game design, those plans are known as GDDs, or game design documents. And they're passed off from designers to the artists and the programmers who carry out what they say. And the credit roll doesn't stop there. Video game designers also collaborate with writers, sound designers, and motion capture studios. It's a multiplayer situation. And while video game designers are a really important part of creating a game, they're definitely not in it alone. For smaller companies, those about 50 employees or less, video game designers might be responsible for everything that goes into the GDD. But for larger companies, or more complex games, the general role of designer might be split into lots of smaller, more specific kinds of designers. Like there may be individual level designers, quest designers, narrative designers, character designers, system designers, UX designers, and more, who each focus on designing a specific aspect of the game. In some cases, it gets so specific that you'll find the credits of a video game listing things like wilderness designer, weapons designer, or horse systems designer. And since companies and the roles are so varied, salaries can vary a lot too. If you're just starting out at a smaller company, you might be making something like $40,000 a year. But as you gain experience and you move up to the roles in bigger studios, your salary will grow too, reach as much as $200,000 a year. And that's a lot of VC. Whatever your title, role, salary, and stats and starter items, video game design isn't just about being a great designer with cool ideas. It's about understanding all those different parts of a video game and how they need to come together to create something beautiful and playable. It's about being able to communicate a vision and a plan across all those different people and departments, not to mention giving and receiving feedback, workshopping ideas, making changes over and over again so the final product looks good, works well, and is something people really want to play. Unfortunately, when it comes to becoming a video game designer, there's no fast travel. But like any good open world, there's lots of different ways to min-max your potential and reach your goal. The first, and maybe most straightforward path, is to start with a tutorial. In other words, you can go to college and get a degree. That's also the most common path. One study found that 85% of video game designers have a bachelor's degree or higher. Some schools have a specific video game design major, where they'll take classes in things like game design, digital storytelling, level design, programming, and sound design. Courses will likely include lots of group projects where you can practice your design and communication skills and start designing your own characters, quests, and levels with your classmates. And all those projects will likely be a great start towards building your design portfolio. Portfolios are usually digital and will contain documents like GDDs, as well as videos of gameplay and levels, or links to things you've designed. This portfolio is going to become one of the most important things employers will look at when they're deciding whether or not to hire you. Along with your portfolio, a game design degree will also help you build connections in the world of video game design. Your fellow classmates may become future design partners, and your professors probably have experience and connections with the game studios. They can help you find mentors and opportunities like internships or jobs in the future. So keep their gamer tags handy. But a video game design major isn't your only option along the college path. Plenty of programs and degrees can also help you build skills and knowledge that will come in handy in a future video game designer role. Like you might opt to study something on the artsy side, like graphic design, digital arts, or animation. Or you go heavier on the tech side, study something like computer science or software engineering. While neither art nor advanced programming skills are necessary for video game designers, they can give you a great foundation to help you understand the bigger picture of video game design, plus level up your communication skills with the artists and programmers who will be executing your vision. But if you're the kind of person who'd rather skip the tutorials because college isn't your thing, you can gain XP in many other ways too. Like, you can find individual courses or even hold game design boot camps online to learn about game design in a less formal and less expensive setting than a college classroom. Or you might attend a game design conference to learn more about the video game industry and start making connections with other gamers and professionals. Of course, one of the best things you can do is something you're already probably pretty good at, playing lots and lots of video games, which is exactly what you want to hear, right? Logging hours of gameplay can be super helpful for your future as a video game designer, and as you study different storylines, level designs, and game mechanics. But you want to spend those play hours the right way, and on the right kinds of games. Like playing your all-time favorite game for thousands of hours is probably not the way you want to go. Instead, you want to play a huge variety of games, from small indie games to AAA games, from first-person shooters smeared with blood and guts to the gentlest farm simulators. You want to play the best games out there and the very worst ones. And don't be an NPC. The whole time you're playing, you want to be analyzing what makes the game good or bad. Why is it fun to play? What parts are hard to navigate? What would you do to make them better? This will help you build your inventory of gaming knowledge so you know about different types of games and their important elements. Then, you can use all that knowledge and experience as inspiration to design your own quests, levels, and characters, or even an entire game. That might sound overwhelming, but specific game engines like Unity or the Unreal Engine can help you get started. You can find tutorials or communities of game designers online or in real life that can help you learn how to use the programs, workshop ideas, troubleshoot issues, or even try out your designs and give you feedback to help you improve. Having those examples of your work is super important, since that digital portfolio is still going to be the most important thing to potential employers. Companies might not care if you have a college degree, but they'll want to see a strong portfolio that shows you have experience in design and good ideas about what makes a great game. And once you've built up your portfolio, it's time to set off on your quest to defeat Ganondorf. Find a job as a video game designer. Which, unfortunately, like slaying the Demon King, is easier said than done. That's because, while the video game industry is pretty huge, those design jobs are a little like a world-ranked Tetris player. Super competitive. But there are a few ways you can get that T-shaped Tetris piece into just the right slot and get your foot in the door as a video game designer. First, some of the bigger companies like Rockstar, Epic, or Bethesda might have paid internships available when you're still in school or just starting your career after graduation. If you're lucky, there may be entry-level design positions like junior designer or associate designer available too. You can also check out the jobs at less competitive companies like indie studios or companies that make mobile games or kids games. Another great way to begin working in video games and get a better feel for what the industry is all about is to get a job in QA or quality assurance, especially before the release of a big game. Companies will hire teams of QA testers to play through the game, looking for bugs and reporting them to the developers. It can be tedious work. You might spend hours on end testing what happens if your character walks in one of those bushes in the background. And then, writing up a report describing exactly how walking into that bush caused a drop in frame rate. Then you'll have to reboot the game, walk towards that next bush you see, and check if the same thing happens again. But spend a few months doing that. You'll have a much better picture of how games work and how they're made. Plus, it can give you valuable work experience to help you eventually level up to an even bigger role in the game industry. But if you're not sure if video game design is your calling, there are plenty of ways to try it out as a side quest. Like the games you're already playing, from Minecraft to Skyrim to Fortnite to Roblox, might already have elements built into the game where you can try designing your own stuff. You can use modding tools and level builders to create new things within the game, then share them out with your gamer community to test them out. Some companies have even hired game designers based on mods and levels they've created for existing games. Other companies like Bethesda even have programs to support hobbyists and modders. Bethesda will actually pay amateur designers royalties when other players use their mods, and provide tools and resources for them to use so they can spend time improving their games, building community, and making games more fun for users. You could also try participating in game jams. These are competitions that happen either online or in person, where participants are assigned to a team, given a specific theme, a time frame, like 2 weeks or 12 hours, to create a whole new game together. They're a great way to make connections within the gaming community, learn from others, and try out game design. And if you find the process of game design just as addictive as League, it's a good bet it's a career for you. The road from inception to creation can be long, like Persona 5 Royal long. Not every game is going to be a smash hit. There may be days you want to rage quit and never touch a keyboard or controller again. But if you love video game design and everything that goes into them, becoming a video game designer is one of the ways you can enter the open world yourself and start building those worlds for others too. GG's everyone. If you want to learn more about undergrad major options, check out our Fast Guide series where we dive into popular college majors. And check out GoStudyHall.com for more resources. If you want to help us out, give this video a like, comment your favorite video game of all time, and smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.